Welcome to like BFD, not BFDI, this is Total Drama Island. Sorry, I did a poll asking people if they wanted to see more non-object show related stuff from me, and most people voted for yes, I think. I haven't actually checked the results since, like, yesterday. So I might actually do that right now, to see if I need to make this video. Yeah, most people said yes, so I'm doing it. Not so happy campers. So, I think, let's think about who's gonna jump and who isn't gonna jump. So I think, let's see, I think all the same people are gonna jump. I think Courtney isn't gonna jump, DJ isn't gonna jump, everyone else is. Beth isn't gonna jump, everyone else is. So, these are the three non-jumpers, and Screaming Gophers still win, meaning it's down to the Killer Bass. And Duncan is like, well, in case I'm mistaken, these two are the only two wearing chicken hats. And if we ever need help lifting a truck, I'm rooting for the big house. He still says that. And then Courtney's like, what? You need me? And then Ezekiel does what he doesn't do what he did. And Ezekiel shuts up. Ezekiel shuts his mouth, he takes Chris's advice and doesn't say too much. And Courtney is voted off. Sorry, let me turn down the volume of the songs. There we go. Next episode, The Big Sleep. I'm gonna say Courtney didn't really help. I think Ezekiel would probably do the same level of skill, would probably do about the same wellness as Courtney. I don't think having Ezekiel instead of Courtney would change this episode that much. The Killer Bass still loses, Heather still does what she does, and Eva is still eliminated. Now, dodgeball. Notice, we don't have Courtney to yell at Harold to wake up Duncan. So Duncan stays asleep, he doesn't wake up. I think, without Courtney, well, Duncan never wakes up, and these guys just go on without him, ultimately leading to their loss. Yep, they lose 3 times in a row. And now they're like, okay, well what the hell, Duncan? You didn't help us. Like, I get you were good in that last challenge, but, like, you were a real liability there, and I don't know if that's what we want to deal with, and they vote off Duncan. And Not Quite Famous, I'm gonna say, this team's like, okay guys, we've lost 3 times in a row, we can't risk losing again. I don't know, someone says that, maybe Bridget. And then, they're losing, Justin does his thing, they're losing, blah 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 blah. And then Harold pulls through with his beatboxing, and the Killer Bass finally win a challenge. And now the Screaming Gophers are like, alright. And I don't know why Heather wanted Justin out, I guess she saw him as a threat, but she doesn't do that. She doesn't go for Justin. She goes for, well, she's looking at the people. She's like, Izzy's crazy, Noah's useless, Cody's useless, Gwen is getting a little too close to that Trent fella, Justin's a threat, Lashana could be a threat, Owen could be a threat. She's basically going for everyone other than her alliance. So out of these people, I think she's not going to want to go for Owen, because I don't think she's going to be able to see if, I don't know if at this point they're going to be wanting to vote for Owen. I'm going to say she doesn't go for Gwen, because, or maybe she does go for Gwen, because she read Gwen's diary. She knows Gwen is going to be gunning for her. She knows Trent is also going to be gunning for her. She knows Cody is going to be gunning for Trent. Maybe she goes up to Cody and she's like, want to get out Trent so that you have a better shot with Gwen? He's like, yeah! And she's like, great. So they come over here. Cody's sort of in this alliance, kinda, not really. She goes up, says, Trent is like a stupid bastard. And I don't know, the show pulls some crap and Trent gets out. In the sucky outdoors, I'm gonna say, now the Screaming Gophers do have the number advantage. Remember, they still have Noah. And they also have Justin. Trent didn't really help much in that challenge. He wasn't really needed. But they have Noah. And Noah's a smart guy. Noah, he knows his stuff. He knows survival stuff. No one else in this game really knows that. Trent didn't. So he's here. Maybe he helps them build something. Or, I don't know. He helps them in some way. They're like, wow, Noah's great. I love this Noah guy. Owen goes up and is like, Noah, you're so cool and handsome. Let's kiss. I mean, what? And I think the Screaming Gophers win yet again. But don't worry, they'll have plenty of losses later down the line. I think Katie and Sadie do their thing, and I don't think anything changes. Katie still gets out here, because I guess they just don't like her. Phobia factor. Now, notice Courtney is eliminated. So Courtney can't lose for the team by not liking green jelly or whatever it was. So let's go through and see if because I think all of these people except for Ezekiel were still in at this point in the game. So Tyler fails, Sadie succeeds, I think Jeff failed, DJ succeeded, Harold failed, Bridget failed. And Ezekiel, I don't know. So I'll put him in the middle, and then I'll come back to him later. Noah, I don't know how he would do. And Justin, I don't know how he would do. So these three will be the key players as to which team wins and which team loses. Owen succeeded, Izzy succeeded. I think Gwen succeeded? Cody failed. Lindsay succeeded, but because this team has more members, I'm gonna say they're working at like a slight disadvantage, because this team has 7 members, this team has 10 members. Let's say if over half of if a higher percentage of your team members succeed, your team wins. So these guys have 3 out of 7, and maybe 4 out of 7. These guys have 1, 2, 3. Lindsay definitely succeeded. These 3, Cody definitely failed. Heather failed, I know that. Beth went in bugs, she succeeded. So that's 5 successes. I don't remember if LaShawna succeeded or not, but I'm gonna say for the purposes of this that she doesn't. So, and I'm gonna say Ezekiel, his biggest fear is what's something a country guy would be scared of. His biggest fear is women. So he has to stand next to a woman for an hour. He succeeds. And now as for these guys, Justin's vain. His biggest fear is going to be like having a bad, like a pimple or something. And he's going to fail. He's going to refuse. He's going to completely, he's going to miserably fail. So now it's all down to Noah. If Noah succeeds, their team can win. Or maybe their team can. I don't know. Or, wait. That's 3/7. That's 4/7. That would be... Okay, so... I think the Screaming Gophers would lose this challenge, no matter what Noah does, but let's say Noah succeeds just because he seems like the type of guy who would. But this team still loses, and they're like, well, let's kick off one of these people who failed. And they're like, well, Justin, your one was the least difficult to succeed at, and they vote out Justin. I don't know. Maybe they'd go for Heather, but they always seem to do that. Up the creek, this is they're carrying some fucking boards. Izzy does Izzy things and gets voted out. That's a pretty simple episode. Izzy is Izzy. Paintball deer hunter. Okay, let's allocate hunters and deers. Slight food chain issue with me shooting you. Deer. I'm gonna say deer. Deer. Hunter. 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 Heather was a deer. Beth was a hunter. Lindsay was a hunter. Jeff. I don't remember. I'm just gonna split them in we'll have these guys are the hunters, these guys are the deers. These guys are the hunters, these guys are the deers. Or maybe we'll have Ezekiel be a deer as well. I'm gonna say 4 deers, 3 hunters. The teams aren't even, so it's difficult. Maybe Chris will have one of them sit out, so that there's no advantage on either side. So we'll have Harold, Bridget, Sadie as hunters, Ezekiel, Jeff, Tyler, DJ as deer. We'll have Owen, Beth, Lindsay as hunters, Noah, Heather, Lashana, Cody as deer, and Gwen will sit out. And blah blah blah, pow pow, pew 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 pew. These two turn on Heather. Heather gets shot. That whole thing happens. That still happens. Cody still gets mauled by a bear. Cody's out. If you can't take the heat. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, in Up the Creek, Beth still took the tiki thing. So we're now down to 14 people, 7 on each team, and they make the food. They split into their groups. So we'll have who was head chef? Was it Jeff? I'm gonna say it was Jeff, and it was Heather. She said, "I'm head chef," called it, and I think Jeff was like democratically elected as head chef. Now, Duncan isn't in the game to bully Harold, and Jeff and DJ are nice guys. So they're not going to do that. And Jeff is like, okay, DJ, you team up with Harold to make something. These two team up. And Heather's like, Lindsay, Beth, you're on first something. You two go together. That works out pretty well. And Owen is Owen, and he eats everything. And they're like, okay, what the hell, Owen? You stupid bitch. And they vote off Owen because he ruined their entire meal. I'm gonna say they still lose because they lost in the original. I don't know. This one's Who Can You Trust? Now I'm gonna need someone to sit out on the killer bass. Let's make it. I think they'd be like, who's the weakest? And they'd be like, Harold, so Harold sits out. And now they pair up into these ones. These two go together, these two go together, these two go together. And it'll be these two, these two, these two. Yeah. And Harold sits out. And I'm gonna say, I don't remember this challenge exactly, but I'm gonna say Heather and Gwen fail in their challenge because they're bickering, whatever it is. These two succeed because they're good friends, and these two, I'll decide later. I'm gonna say these two succeed in their challenge because they're cool. I'm gonna say Sadie hits Bridget in the head with apples or whatever, like she did with Courtney. And I'm gonna say these two fail. So these two fail, and so 1 out of 3 teams succeeded. 1 out of 3 teams succeeded. On this team, I'm gonna say Lashana pulls through, and they win. And for the first time, the Screaming Gophers aren't sending someone home. Because I guess the Tiki's like on vacation or something. I don't know. The Screaming Gophers win. And they're like, well, I don't want to vote out Harold because he never got the opportunity. So we should go for one of the people who lost. Well, I miss Katie, so I would like to maybe go home if you don't mind. And like, yeah, alright. So they vote off Sadie because she wants to go home, and they're like, yeah, sure, whatever you want. If that's what you want, sure, go ahead. And now they're reunited after so many episodes. Basic straining. I don't remember this one. They had to like carry canoes or something. Lindsay taps out first, I'm gonna say. And then Harold taps out. Then Ezekiel taps out. I don't know the challenge exactly, but I know that people slowly tapped out over the course of the challenges. I'm gonna say Noah goes next, just because these, you know. Beth. Tyler. Heather. Bridget. Lashana. DJ. So it's down to Gwen and Jeff, just like it was in the original. Jeff's like, I live for the head rush. But this time he actually does. And the Killer Bass win. And they're like, well, Lindsay dropped out first. But, of course, Heather doesn't want to get rid of her alliance. Noah's starting to catch on. These two are good friends now. And they're like, Noah, do you want to try to see if we can get Heather out? And I was like, sure, whatever, I guess. And these guys are like, that creepy goth girl needs to go now. And these guys go for, and so these two are the targets. And it ties 3-3. And there's some tiebreaker or something. And Gwen gets out for some reason. I don't know. I'm making it up on the spot. That's probably how the writers pitched it. Gwen, X character gets out for some reason. Now, you'll notice in this one, Harold wasn't there to rig the votes, which I don't know if that led to his elimination, or if it was coincidence. I don't think he ever got caught doing that. Well, he did, but like he never got punished for having done that until he was eliminated already. But I'm gonna say that these two are like, we have to win this challenge or we're going next. I don't even care about getting rid of Heather anymore. I just don't want to go home. And this team, they sit out Harold again because he sucks. But this time Tyler shits the bag and he goes home. Now it's the final 5, and they split into the guys and the girls. And that was pretty convenient. I only need to move 2 people in order for that to work. So yeah, Noah goes over here, Bridget goes over here. That's just how it turned out, apparently. So the guy, and then now this is a slightly different. This is actually a very different bunch of people. Well, in the girls, only Beth didn't make it to this point in the actual show. The others all did. But on the guys' team, Ezekiel, Harold, and Noah, none of them made it to this point. That was these fine lads. But whatever. I'm gonna say, because the guys' team have these 3, they don't seem. Harold for sure doesn't have a strong stomach. Ezekiel, he probably does. He lives on a farm. Noah doesn't, and I don't think Beth does either. Bridget's a vegan or vegetarian or something. I'm gonna say the girls win, but it doesn't matter because yeah. No one goes home in Bunch of Disgustingness. It's the merge. Let's put them all on. And now it's time for those pivotal mid-game rejoins, you know, that happened where last time it was Izzy and Eva. It's not Izzy and Eva this time. It's Courtney and Eva. It's Courtney and Eva. Or no, not Eva. I could do Izzy again, but I'm gonna say Izzy because I watched that video about I watched the Izzy isn't crazy conspiracy video, and I believe it firmly. So I'm gonna say Izzy comes back as well as Courtney, and I'm gonna say with Courtney back, the people who voted Courtney off are like, oh my gulp. They're like, no. And with Izzy back, these guys are like, yeah, I don't know, something like that. I'm gonna say Lashana still wins this. Who won this challenge? It was Lashana, right? Whatever. It's Lashana in this timeline. But I think Courtney is in a close second, just like Eva was. But they don't vote off Courtney immediately, because why would you do that? Instead, they're like, well, there's these 3 in their little alliance. Up here. I'll put Lashana here so we know that she won. I'm gonna say these 3 form sort of like a nerds alliance. I know Ezekiel isn't necessarily a nerd, but like he's smart and he's a weak-looking guy, so I think he'd fit right in. And I'm gonna say that these 3 here, they're kind of, well, these 2 are kind of friends. I'm gonna say these guys are like, well, we're both rejoiners. We need someone else for numbers. Let's bring Bridget in. And Jeff and DJ are friends. And then there's just Oshana on her own, but she has immunity this round, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm gonna say these guys are like, well, we can't get stupid Lashana out who should we go for instead? How about, that guy who party? Josh. Jeff? Yeah, him. And they're like, fine, yeah, whatever. And they go for Jeff. The nerds are like, we've totally got this in the bag, because, like, no one will even, like, even want to go for us. And I was like, sure, whatever you say. And Ezekiel's like, I'm Canadian and sexist. But these guys go for Jeff. These guys go for Heather. These guys go for Heather. And these guys go for Heather, and Heather's out. Because no shot does Heather survive there. Everyone hates her. She's still evil. But now they're like, oh no, there's no villain. Why do you think I brought Courtney back? Search and do not destroy. What happened in that challenge? That was the one where Heather kissed Trent, but they're both out, so it doesn't matter. Courtney wins because she wants to be threatening. The Girl Alliance votes for Ezekiel because he's sexist. And that works, and he's out. Yeah, sure. I don't care. Hide and be sneaky. That's the one. I think Lashana won this again. Lashana was really good at challenges. I'm gonna say Lashana wins again because I like her. And these guys are like, wait, what was Heather like kind of terrible? Yeah, I think she was. And Noah's like, okay, Harold, we lost our ally. We should go find some new people. How about we go up to those ladies? And Noah's like, I don't like the tone you said there, but sure. Hey, wanna be in an alliance of 4 with me and Harold? Okay, sure. So these guys are like the smart, stupid. That's the alliance. Courtney, Bridget, and Izzy are like, we need to get rid of someone who's a threat, who isn't me. How about DJ, because everyone likes him? Sure. And they vote for DJ, I guess. And now Jeff is like, I have no more bros, and goes up to Lashana and is like, wanna be bros, bro? And Lashana's like, yeah, sure. And now for this one, it's the last person who crosses the line, for real this time. Not that stupid loophole that's dumb. I'm gonna say, Izzy does that thing where her and Lashana piss off. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it's that challenge where whoever crosses the line first wins. I'm gonna say, Courtney finishes first, Lashana finishes second, Izzy finishes third. Jeff inexplicably finishes fourth. And Bridget finishes fifth, meaning the Nerds Alliance has to turn on each other. I'm gonna say Noah then goes, and then Beth. And now it's down to Harold and Izzy, and I'm gonna say Lindsay, I'm gonna say Lindsay succeeds and Harold is eliminated, just because he feels like the physically weakest contestant left. Actually, he was probably the physically weakest contestant overall, but you could make an argument that's Cody. Hook, line, and screamer. No DJ to be a little bitch. I'm gonna say Beth seems like she wouldn't be good at those sorts of challenges, and everyone else here, I feel like Noah would be, because he doesn't care. He'd be like the Gwen, I think, where he doesn't care. Courtney would be good at it, and everyone else has proven they're decent at it. And I think it would be Bridget or Beth, but since I think I want Bridget to get further, I'm gonna say Beth gets out here. And now Noah's like, oh no, we down to only us, me and you, Lindsay. And Lindsay's like, that's okay, because we still have each other. And I was like, yeah, but that's like also the downside. Yeah, they have their smart guy, stupid idiot girl banter, that's funny. And Courtney's like, haha, I'm slightly evil, maybe. I'm malicious. and Izzy's crazy, and Bridget and Jeff are there making out or something. And then there's also Lashana. In Wawanakwa Gone Wild, what happens in that one? I genuinely don't know. That's the one where they have the animals. And whoever... That's the animal one, I know that. I know there's animals in that one. And something... Heather gets paralyzed or something. I don't know. Izzy gets out because she's crazy. And all the others are more plot relevant. Trial by Triumph Triathlon. The groups are Noah Lindsay, Jeff Bridget, Courtney, Lashana. And Courtney, Lashana, they're great individually, but they don't work well together, and so that's the fun conflict. These two are like getting mad at, they like might break up or something, and these two, and Noah's getting angry at how stupid Lindsay is. I'm gonna say couple loses, and Jeff's like, oh no, Bridge, we have to vote each other off now. I'm gonna say Bridget gets out, because I want the gender balance to be even. Hot Capture. This is when all the eliminated contestants vote for who they want to go home. And I think they're gonna be like, oh, do I want to do that thing with Lashana? No. I'm not gonna do that thing with Lashana. Lashana survives. She gets no votes. And everyone, these guys are all like, wow, Courtney's evil and crazy. And these guys are all like, wow, Courtney is a rejoiner. Courtney gets out. Final four. Noah, Lindsay, Jeff, Lashana. Camp Castaways. No one gets eliminated in this one. Are we there, Yeti? I'm gonna make the pairs guys versus gals. So it's like it was in the original. It's Noah and Jeff versus Lindsay and Lashana. I was correct, I just got it the wrong way around. I'm gonna say Lindsay and Lashana lose, and these guys are like, well, Lindsay's kinda my friendo a little bit, and Jeff's cool with that. He's like, sure, we'll get rid of Lashana, and she's a bigger threat, so I'm gonna say Lashana gets out here. Some people might think that is unfair, but the thing is, if you're too big of a threat, which Lashana definitely was, you get targeted. And now, in I Triple Dog Dare You, I'm gonna say Jeff's cool with his challenges, Lindsay's cool with her challenges, Noah gets out, because he's like a stickler like that. And I'm gonna say, and then these are the finalists. And whoever you want to win, that is who does. So, final rankings. 22nd, Eva. 21st, Duncan. 20th, yeah, these are the rankings. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next time.